Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. This is trying to attack me. I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. I had the house to myself for most of the weekend, which meant that I got some things done. And that's not to say that I don't get things done when I don't have the house to myself. But I get I just get stir crazy when there's nobody here to talk to or to care for or to cook for or whatever. And so I just end up doing stuff. And I had a very busy weekend, but I found time in between. So Friday night, Malia went to her parents for her mom's birthday. And I was supposed to have a friend come over, but he ended up getting sick and did not come over. And so I had the house to myself Friday night. And I showed you last week the board. I told you to ignore the board that was sitting here. Um, I ended up making a guitar rack for Malia. She's got 6 or 7 guitars, and they've been in cases all this time. She's like, I'd like to hang them up. And so we bought some hooks, like prefabbed things, and I've had a really nice piece of cherry that I milled up a little bit. I just planed it, sanded it, eased the edges a little bit. And then, so she left, and I needed to get some screws. Like, I wanted some cabinet screws to mount it to the wall, and the screws that it came with to go into the backing. Like, it was intended to go into drywall anchors. Those screws, do not put those screws in hardwood, especially in cherry. So I went to the store and bought bought some screws to mount the blocks as well as cabinet screws to mount the board to the wall. And I did that Friday night. And I ended up breaking off 2 of the screws going into the cherry. I tightened them down, and then the block was still wiggling a little bit, so I tightened a little bit more, and then the block got looser, more loose, and then snap. And when the second one got a little extra loose, I was like, oh, it's about to snap off. So I tried to back it out, and when I tried to back it out, it snapped off. So 2 broken screws. I guess I just didn't pre-drill big enough. That happens, especially in hardwoods like cherry. So I got one of those screws out with vice grips, no problem. The other screw would not come out. It was very, very short. I couldn't get a good grip on it. I ended up drilling it out, broke a drill bit off trying to drill it through the screw. And then I ended up taking a very small drill bit and just drilling like 6 or 7 holes all the way around the screw, knocked all of that out, drilled that out, plugged it, re-drilled it, done. Got all that done Friday night, hung it up, and that was my Friday. Saturday, Saturday was a busy day. I had to go to the stadium. We have like our high school football field is a stadium that was built in like the 70s. Probably holds like, I don't know, a few thousand people. And it's an awesome place. But anyway, the Band Spectacular is our huge fundraiser that our band hosts every year at the stadium. And as a parent, you're expected to volunteer. And my co-parent's not going to ever volunteer for anything like that. She's just not. So I do all the volunteering, which is fine. I enjoy being there for my kid, and I enjoy representing her, you know. So I went Saturday morning at we had to be there at 10, I think, to get prepared for that, which was basically like find our team leaders, help set up, we put some signs up and stuff like that. And then the kids had practice, and then I left there, ate lunch, then went to my parents' house because my dad had a few projects he needed help with. I hung a new shop light in his basement, got him a new wireless doorbell because their doorbell was broke, put all that in for them, hung out there for a little bit, and then had to go back at like 3:30. I had to be back at the stadium, and I sold tickets. So I stood out in front of the gate and sold tickets. And my kid thanked me for that. She's like, thank you for being there for me. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm here for. Like, duh. So that was like a crazy busy day. And so Saturday, I kind of just read a book. I don't know why I said book. That's weird. I read a little bit. I played I have a new card game from Ryan Lockett called Creature Caravan. I played some solo of that to try to figure it out before I have somebody over to try to teach. Uh, Very quirky game, so it's gonna be one of those games I'm gonna play it a few times to figure it out. But I think it's gonna be a hit. Um, Played some of that solo, then just kind of hung out Saturday night. I played some video games, played some bass guitar. I've been learning. Yep, Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones. Uh, it's a very easy bass line in terms of there's only like four notes in the whole bass line, uh, but it's extremely fast. I think that at speed it's like 143 beats per minute or something like that. I could play it at about 120, and that's pushing it. 120 is I'm still making minor mistakes. Very 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 fast song, but it's fun to play, and it's you know that's just I need to learn. I'm just gonna sit and do it every day. I'm gonna play whatever song I'm learning, and currently it's that song. I could play it, so I think it's about 100. I don't know. I played it at about 185%, which is about the max I could do right now. Without, I mean, I could do bits and I could do the major structures of the song at speed, but to put it all together and play for 3 minutes straight, I just run out of steam. Like I just can't. I can't play that much that long. So just more practice. So that was Saturday. Sunday morning, I woke up and realized, oh, the house is empty. I can do whatever I want. My kids' softball games didn't start until 1, so I didn't have to be there until 1. My oldest was in from college, and she was going to stop by. So I was like, I have the morning. So at like 6:45, I came down here and I built another prototype end table. I think I showed you guys the first prototype end table I built. And we wanted to build another one that's a different size to go in a different spot in the living room. And so I just came down here and built it real quick. It took me like an hour and a half maybe to build an end table. It's just pocket holes pined together. We went and bought the wood a couple weeks ago, and I was like, wait, there's nobody here. I'm not going to wake anybody up coming down here and just powering every tool on down here. So that's what I did. I had already had the top glued up. I just came down here, cut the legs, cut the stretcher, just slapped it all together with pocket holes, and went upstairs and installed it so that when Malia came home yesterday, she could see that. So it was an awesome weekend. I got and here's the most important project. I patched some holes in the drywall that were bothering me because we moved things around. That's not important. The most important project. This guy. You guys have seen this guy for years. He is the focus stick that I use to focus the camera before I sit down here. And when I set him down here on the floor, I mean, I've been using this the entire time. I made this like very early on. He's probably about 8 years old. When I set him down here on the floor, because of the way I constructed him, he sometimes topples backwards. He's kind of back heavy. So and I've just accepted it. You guys have heard it crash and hit the bandsaw and make all kinds of noise because I'm in a hurry. I gave him a kickstand yesterday. It just occurred to me that I could fix the problem with a piece of wood and 2 screws, and I don't have to deal with it falling over ever again and irritating me. That's the most important thing I did this whole weekend. That's not true. The kid played softball, came home, hung out, chilled, whatever. Good weekend. It was a very good weekend. I still have lots of other projects on the list. I need to build a new kitchen island. I've been saying that for 6 months. I actually need to get started on that. I need to build a buffet table for the dining room. I need to build the actual end tables. Now that we have the prototypes and we know what we want and what we don't want, I'm going to build the actual end tables. First, I need to go get the wood and let it acclimate in the shop and all that stuff for a while. So the kitchen island will probably be next. We'll probably live with the pine end tables for a little while. Kitchen island will be next. Then probably the end tables, then probably the buffet, and then I might build a gaming table. Those are the 4 huge projects. And then of course I still have tons of baseboards and trim to put up in the house. It's whatever. But the dog doesn't like the tools, so I try to not go up there and do a bunch of air nailing and stuff while he's around. I'd rather take him to my sister's house so we can work on the house without really upsetting him, because he's old and I don't want him to be upset all the time. So, what'd you get up to this weekend? Did you do anything exciting? I'd love to hear about it. Put it in the comments. Let me know. Ask me questions. Whatever. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know sounds smart is zonifugal. It's an adjective meaning passing out of or away from a region. Our multinational European jaunt contained many zonifugal changes that often caused us to feel disoriented. Zonifugal. Z-O-N-I-F-U-G-A-L. I don't know what's happening to me. I can't read anymore. We only got 2 more words left, guys. And we finished this book. That's crazy.